And we are live, marked by the clock,
There you go.
buzzing every week
There you
on
go.
Thursday morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Give people a few seconds to get in here. It's a live broadcast, so we'll get everyone loading up. But Randy, how are you?
Good morning. Excellent.
Morning.
Excellent.
Well, good to see you.
Yep.
I see we kind of went more back towards the interrogation lamp setup. We're looking a little bit super spy today. I like it.
Yeah, there's Joe. Joe's got his secret light, and that's like holding a flashlight under your chin there. And
Yeah, I never had it can do it that way. Or, there you go.
Oh no, that's right. There you go.
It's when you see this, you know I had a bright idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The squeak really adds to it, though. It's
Yeah.
more intimidating when the light slowly creaks up at an angle.
If he makes it a little bit darker, it'll be like those people that don't want to be identified while they're talking.
That's right.
They change their voice and then they black out their face so you can't see them.
Well, actually, I've got two small table lamps over here on the condenser thing, and I've got this one light at the desk, and I forgot to cut on my overhead light. I won't do it now, but normally I've started doing that. That gives a little better perspective.
Gotcha. Yeah, this room doesn't have any ceiling lights. Yeah. Like in the ceilings, it's just one of those rooms that has outlets, and then have fun with lamps. Yeah. And it was a little bit weird to adjust to not have anything to turn on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because before we moved, I didn't have one, and I was having to do all the. Now I keep forgetting to cut that one on. So.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I've had to put a sweater on this morning. We cut over to heating last week because it was getting warm. And now we have a 40-degree cold front coming through today. So
all the scientists today came out. We're into global cooling now.
Climate change, Joe.
I know it.
It's like I thought for the first 67 years of my life, I thought the climate changed all the time, but I guess it didn't. I guess it's just now that we have climate change.
Yeah. So.
And it's going to be 40 degrees there today.
Yeah, I think it was in the 30s last night, and it might get back up into the 50s, but it's cold.
We were in the 40s last night, and got to put on 53 or 4 yesterday. But it's supposed to be by Friday. It's supposed to be 75 or so, and then continuing to be warm for the rest of the week.
Yeah. I was at my grandson's baseball game last night. It was 49 degrees.
Yeah. Micah, I think I relayed earlier to you that Tim will probably be late, if at all, because he had to go get his second virus shot. And he had to leave an early morning thing this morning, about 15 minutes early. So we may not see him. Deshaun should be here.
And Mark just pulled up as well.
There you go. So Mark's coming this way too. Now, Mark just got his second shot yesterday, or his first shot yesterday, and he's already doesn't feel good. He's such a weak one,
Must be, that's it.
Weakling. There you go.
It's worse if you've had it before.
I had it before too. It's like, man.
He's actually had the COVID-19 thing.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard the vaccine is worse if you've had COVID.
If you can see me now, this light behind me.
Yeah. Kevin said my microphone wasn't loud. I just changed the settings. See if it's
good now.
It's louder now.
Yeah,
it's good.
That seems very good.
And look, Mark is incognito. He's dark faced today. He just nobody can see him.
Yeah, he's in the witness protection program.
Shadow thing.
That's not his real voice either.
That light behind me, it's hard to see.
I feel like Mark and Joe are from the same spy movie.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna take another position over here and see if this works. Hold on.
No, you're good.
I can still hear you.
Well, we were just.
Yeah, you were good.
Yeah.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah, you were fine.
So what's our topic today, Micah?
Yes, thank you for asking. Welcome, everybody. we're getting a little bit chatty there. Topic today is trader fatigue and how to avoid it. A little bit more on mindset today, but we will get to talk about the different decisions we make in the different time frames of trading. That's kind of how I want to approach it. I want to talk about the trading plan we have going into a trade, which is going to be very cool because regardless of your technique, a plan is simply the amount of steps you have, right? So in your trading plan, whether that's for Forex, crypto, options, anything, there has to be a preset plan before you're going into it, and then you have to stick to that plan. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what happens when you don't. I feel like there are a lot of people that don't have any sort of trading plan, and they're making trades based off of a technique or something, but they don't quite have a trading plan in place. The largest issue that I think we all understand and have seen so many times through so many students is the balance of over trading and, well, just learning how to balance over trading, and not getting into that off of losing streaks or winning streaks, different things like that. So yeah, that is our main topic for today. But first of all, Joe, did we have a MMT session today?
We did, Micah, and it was a good one. We had a huge one yesterday, and we've had good all week. Today,
yesterday SPY was just falling like a rock.
Yeah.
Yesterday was fine. Sorry.
Deshaun just racked it up on SPY. He had 1, 2, 3 SPY trades for a total, I don't know, about 16, 17%. He had one SPY trade yesterday, 13%. Anyhow, today we had 7 trades, which is not a lot. Yesterday we had 20 something, but we were up 15.4746. Now, for the week, we're up 155.6117%. Now that's through this morning. And yesterday we were at 50.34 for 140% for the week, and the previous day was 65. So we've had some huge returns this week, and everybody's just contributing in there. I mean, let's say everybody, Deshaun and Tim and Mark, and so it's going to be it's going to be really one of our highest months here after tomorrow. So it'd be fantastic.
Nice.
Yep. So,
awesome. And Mark, how was it? How was the session specifically for you? Or I guess if you want to tell people what you do.
Well, the micro moment trading, obviously, we're talking about here is in and out of the market in micro moments. So kind of what's prefaced off of, right? We're in for a few seconds, out in a few seconds. Our idea is to flip a few cents off the market and continue to do this, throughout the day or through the first hour or two that the market's open. Or if there's where the market presents an opportunity when it starts moving, quite extensively up or down, it gives us more opportunity to get in and out, and make some decent profits on this. The good thing, of course, with the micro moment is we're out the same day. We never hold positions overnight. We don't speculate or anything. So we're done by the end of the day, or we're done when we're done trading. Go about your business, play golf, whatever you want to do.
Awesome.
So my role, of course, is I'm trading the QQQs. Tim's, trading the Apple. Deshaun trades the SPY. And so each of us take a position as we see it happening in the chart in real time. We'll prep that trade, and then we'll usually pull the trigger, we call it, on the trade, execute it, and then at the same time, then look for our exit. And as Joe just indicated, those returns are well received, I'm sure. Everything works out pretty good, hopefully, most days. Sometimes take a little loss. That's how it works, but you got to keep those small. You didn't get out. But overall, the profit's there, and it's doing well.
Well, the key with the micro moment on getting out is the key. Unlike Randy's technique, which he can describe later, micro moment, you only have to do one thing. There's only one. There's no management moves, unlike Randy. There's no management moves. You got your red light and your green light. When you enter a trade, you enter because it's green. If it turns red, just for a second, you close that sucker out. And you're going to lose a cent or two. Like today, Mark was in his QQ. He had a 1.82% loss and a fraction of 1%. That's what you're supposed to do, is get out. If you hang around hoping it's going to come up and you're going to get out for a 2 or 3 cent profit, forget about it, because in all probability it's got just a good chance of going down and you're going to lose money. So he's mastered that getting out early, as has Randy, but he's a little different. He can explain. But Tim, he gets out really, really fast. And that's why we have those huge gains. And so that's the key, is getting out. So
yeah,
you definitely don't want to hang on to it. I mean, you're shoulda, woulda, coulda type syndrome, right? You're praying and hoping it goes up or down, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Now Randy's a little different, but due to his age, he can't move real fast. So he uses a slower technique, which is the regular, variations of covered calls.
Yeah, but we have management techniques for that. So as the market changes in those positions, we can take advantage of that to keep manipulating those positions and generate profits on them still. So.
Yeah, and I want to announce this because I know that Mike's not going to, but he informed me this morning that he's been with us 8 years now. Do you believe it?
I started as a student.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe had a little bit of a crisis the other day. I was like, man, that happened kind of quick. I haven't been 8 years away from something ever in my life. So. That's when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
That's amazing how fast time flies.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. But
when you have kids or something, they grow up pretty fast in college. Next thing you know.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens right away. That's awesome.
I don't know why we have such old people associated with us on this thing. We got Randy, the oldest, and then we got Mark next to the oldest. He's been with us 10, 15 years, Mark?
Yeah, since 2006, maybe, something like that.
And Keith Frampton, who still attends those sessions every day and still does things for us, is with us. Hey, our instructors here, there's nobody that's just come and gone we never heard from. What's his name? Who did our charts? He retired. He was already getting on up there, so he just went ahead and retired. But we have clients, Micah. We have clients that'll come in and say, "Well, I've been with you a little while." And I say, "How long is that?" They say, "Well, I would say that it was 19. It's been 15 years." A client. Yeah. You would think there's no hope for them because if they hadn't learned the technique by then, they ain't going to learn the technique. They're just going to keep paying us every month. That's fine too. So
there's something about the camaraderie and talking with people and working with them too that I think people like. So.
Well, it's because the market changes and things change, and trading techniques change, and so there's always constant improvement in our technique. There's never been one single thing in all these 25, 30 years that the CBOE has done, not one single thing, not one real anything that's been detrimental to our technique. So, and that's why the people keep paying rent, because things keep getting better. Like the micro moment never existed not too many years ago. When Micah, even though he's getting kind of old and has a problem remembering now, they didn't have most of these things back then, did we, Micah? But you don't remember, right?
No, we were on Trade Monster commissions where I don't remember what commissions were.
$30.
Yeah, well, I don't think they were that high.
Not Trade Monster, E-Trade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, E-Trade, yeah.
Yeah, no, we were on Trade Monster before it was. E-Trade is the one that bought them, yeah?
Yeah, E-Trade was about the first one.
Yeah, E-Trade. Options House actually bought Trade Monster, and then,
Options House,
then E-Trade bought them.
Yeah.
For sure, you remember back in the day. I mean, back in the 90s when I was trading, you used to have to call your broker, get the paper out. I think we talked about this once before, but look at the options chain for that one, and maybe it wasn't an eighth or a quarter, right? And you get the numbers and call your broker up, and he would place the order, pay the fill later, but it's $100 each way. It's pretty archaic compared to today. So.
Oh, well, remember when E-Trade made this big advance where instead of, doing directly on the sort of, obscure, not very good trading platform, they did where you could dial in and you had to use your phone, a touch-tone phone, and you would dial in to do trades on your touch-tone phone. Good Lord, what that was. Because you had to punch everything in, and that's when all the options still had the long codes. And you had to put all that stuff into a phone. Yeah.
And that was an amazing breakthrough even back then, right? It was like, oh wow, check this out.
It was just insane.
Yeah. I don't quite remember those things.
Yeah, back in 2006 when I started, Joe, if you were buying the stock, they charged you a percentage of how much you were investing for the commission.
Really?
It wasn't just a flat fee. It was like a percentage, and it ended up being hundreds of dollars. If you're buying a couple of hundred shares of stock, the commissions were like hundreds of dollars. Now, stock is no commission, and options are 50 cents a contract or less. I mean, It's
Mhm.
come way,
somehow
way,
the brokers
way
are
down.
still making money. So hey,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh
no,
yeah. They're not doing
no,
anything.
no commission bills yet.
The,
Uh,
the brokers are not a charity.
sure.
They don't do something for you for free. They're
yeah,
still making their money.
I just got a text from Deshaun say he's probably not going to be here. He's still on the calls helping people because he likes to hang around when we finish up a session of a micro moment and people have questions stuff. And he'll hang around, so he must have a lot of questions this morning. Because a lot of times they don't get it during the sessions because these guys are busy doing trades. So he probably is not going to be here. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah.
All good.
But at least he's out there helping people. You know?
Yep. He's
Yeah.
good about that. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, I mean, I think it's valid to look at your trading, the place you are in trading right now, and see how far everything has come, and also realize that it's going to continue changing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, like I compare it to data management a lot. A thumb drive, 1 gig thumb drive used to be commonplace, but now we can fit a terabyte in the palm of your hand. And there's a terabyte on every laptop. And
Yep.
the laptops are now, a 1/4 inch thick altogether. And all of this, all of these, the massive changes, if you think of, looks like, yeah, Dishon is in the chat. It looks like, yeah, so it's the rate at which it's changing. If you apply that angle to the next, like if it's changed this much in 10 years, if you apply that same compounding effect that we do with trading to the rate of change of technology and the rate of change of storage space, computers, upload speeds. I mean, we haven't even gotten into fiber wire or anything like that, and we've already increased the fill speeds to hardly anything, depending on where you are and what type of internet you have. And then we're talking about that Elon Musk, the satellite internet and all those different things. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see where everything goes in the next 10 years if it's the same rate of change, because we'll get even farther than we did this last period.
Been
Yeah.
We'll just all be absorbed into the internet and just be part of it, not even know it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got one question I just want to address real quick from CHOSEN. I guess is where's Deshaun? Deshaun, didn't you say Deshaun's coming on?
Oh no, we're Deshaun. I think this is Deshaun talking on the YouTube account.
Okay, wait, and Deshaun was helping folks on our previous sessions, the micro trading, and the note I got from a while ago, he's still there helping people out, so he's probably not going to show up on this today. Yeah, so
that's all good.
Back to the topic is, Micah, you're talking about trader fatigue, right? That's kind of what we were referring to, I think, earlier, right?
Yeah, I was going to address these questions really quick.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, up to our point, and then we'll head into that topic. The best testimony that your trading works is that all the people on the panel have started as students. They have learned the trading, changed their lives, and they now teach. That's fair. Mark, when did you join as a student?
What's that?
When did you join as a student, Mark?
So I started following Joe back in like 2006, 2005 timeframe, right?
Okay.
And I've been trading some before that, and then I came across some of Joe's stuff, and then I started following him, and the rest is history, I guess, as I say.
Yeah. And Randy, you met up with Joe in
2006. Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Randy was ready to retire from his employee he'd been with his entire life, and they sent all their executives. They were doing a spy out and sent them and asked them to make sure that they were going to be able to live, on the stock that they had, stuff that they had. And Randy was one of the few that reported what he was doing and that he was going more than retire. So he kept all his stock in that company. He still has today. He still trades that stock today. So you've had that stock, 30 years, 35 years, something like that?
Yeah. But when I first learned the techniques, I wasn't ready to retire at that time, although I was ready to retire like 20 years before, as far as wanting to retire. But because I learned the compound stock or the covered call techniques, that allowed me to be able to take that retirement package early. And it's been great ever since. That was 17 years, 18 years ago. A long time. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but
we give you a technique to generate income. Yes, that's great.
Yeah.
And Randy really came into flower with us back when he came on. Of course, Randy was already there. We were doing these seminars once a month in Dallas and in Chicago and in LA and New York and Boston, everywhere. And Mark his first live event, you might say, has come out and been with us in some of those seminars. And he not innovative. He would just do all kinds of innovative stuff for those seminars. It's helped tons of people. So
a couple of master's classes. I remember those were pretty fun.
Yeah.
Even though you can't see it, I think it's because of the plastic surgery. He's been a big asset to us.
I remember when Marquis developed the PRT technique, and I remember when he taught
replacement technique.
Yep, that's a great extra benefit of the covered call process. Is the PRT is fantastic.
I forgot about that. I thought I developed that. You mean he did?
No, Joe, you can't take credit for that. It was Mark. Mark did that one. I remember. So see, Mark, somebody's got to protect you in this thing. Joe's memory, he doesn't. He doesn't always remember everything correctly.
Right.
No, that was Mark's technique.
I'm not supposed to. It might advance.
Yeah, you don't have to. You got all of us here, so.
And
it's just another management technique that we developed over the years. As Joe says, we're constantly working to make this better.
Yeah.
It's a technique that came about that allowed us to further the technique, so it was great.
Micah has a new kill switch. When I fall asleep, he can kill my image there.
And on that note, on the development, that actually is right with what we're talking about today, because so we're talking about trader fatigue, but the core of that, I believe, lies in the trading plan. So the trading plan is a thing that all traders talk about as the steps that you complete within a trade. And the more pre-established that is, right? Would you rather think about how you're going to handle something when you're totally fine, at no risk, in a low impact situation, or would you rather try to decide those things when everything's intense, you're in the moment, you're going to make you're going to start to make the mistakes, you're going to start to do those things. So to have a strict set of rules going into a trade is something that you see in every trading method, whether they're trading Forex, crypto, anything. There has to be a predetermined plan. And this is even if you guys trade on your own. But there has to be a predetermined plan, and you have to stick through that. Otherwise, you get into this no man's land. If you get through that first stop, then, I can wait till the next level, it'll turn around. I can wait till the next level, it'll turn around. And because the market is so rapidly changing, you start to get away from that original trade. So I kind of want to talk about the importance of that. Randy, you have management techniques and a main. Could you, without having to explain all of the management techniques, could you kind of outline your trading plan and how you're not going to end up in a position that's going to just run against you forever, and how you're going to kind of avoid those things with something like momentum trading?
Sure. With the covered call process, which is what Joe's been kind of referring to with the management techniques, and a covered call is you buy a stock and sell a call against it, and that generates income. You're like renting out your stock, and the goal of our process is weekly or monthly income on that equity. So when you buy a stock, we're not as the girls used to say, we're not married to the stock, we're just dating it. It's like we buy the stock in order to rent it out with the intention of selling it at the end of the period and getting all your capital back and keeping that profit, the rent. We sell in the money calls, which means the stock can go up and you get called out. The stock can go sideways, you get called out. It can even decline and you get called out. So the fact of being able to sell in the money calls against it and generate an income, it makes it be a much more conservative technique. If it goes down more than the amount that we first had analyzed, then we have the management process. And the management process allows us to continue to generate income while it's going down until it starts coming back up. And in most cases, actually be able to get out of the position with all of our capital at a lower price than what we originally entered it at because of the management process. So it's a whole process. It's not just one thing or the other. It's if it goes up, you do this. If it goes sideways, you do that. If it goes down, you do the other. And it continued to generate income, just like if you had a rental house.
Mm-hmm.
Say you bought a house for 100,000, the market dropped and it's only worth 90,000. We don't sell the house. You just keep renting it out and you keep getting that same $1,500 a month rent or whatever that it is, month after month after month. And then the housing market eventually comes back up to what you paid for it. If you ever want to sell it, then you sell it. But in the meantime, you're generating that income month after month. And that's what we do with the cover call process and the management techniques with that.
But to the trading plan issue, I mean, what Randy's saying is, we have specific rules to enter the trade, and then we already know about how much profit we're going to try and take off, 3 to 6%, and then we're looking for that. If that doesn't happen, then we have the rules to manage the technique to still generate that profit. So,
yeah,
so there's a plan behind it.
Yep, it's all rule based. Everything is, like Mark said, we teach all the rules of how to do each of the processes and when to do it. So it is a plan. The plan going in is we expect this good, high quality company to stay in business and be able to get called out at the end of the period and get our capital back. But we know if we get called out, what our income is going to be, what the return is. If we don't get called out, we still have a return from that rent. And we keep using the techniques to continue to generate the income. And that is the trading plan.
Mm-hmm. And the one of the key things is that you have a plan for the direction and whatever happens. I think there's a big acceptance to knowing that you don't know exactly what's going to happen in the market. And
that would be great.
Yeah. Back to the future. If we could go back to the future, that would be great.
Exactly.
And that's one of the biggest parts of the plan is how to select the position to start with. And we have fundamental and technical requirements to select the company to start with. And then we use the charts that we want to be in a rising cycle in the lower 25% making a V. So that it's a high probability that it's going to go up. But if it doesn't, then we have the part of the plan that says, here's what we do if it doesn't go up and continue to generate income.
Yeah.
And you could actually generate income for the rest of the life of the stock. I mean, it's not something that, as long as the stock stays in business, there's still an opportunity to keep generating income on it.
Correct. Yeah. That's nice.
Exactly. And conditional plans for no matter what happens, knowing that you can't just control the market and you don't know exactly what's going to happen. I think a big part of that is people have a trading plan, but they have a plan if it goes exactly according to plan. A plan isn't, okay, if it does this one thing, then I'm going to do these things, right? A plan is a view of the market, and it's a view of everything. I mean, not even a trading plan. Let's say you're planning to do anything. It's those conditional situations have to be accounted for.
We know our entry, then we know our expected exit. If that doesn't happen, we adjust, we manage it, then we have another exit point, right?
Or as Joe loves to mention, you get out.
Right.
You have
to. It depends on what process that you're using.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Yep.
So like Joe talks about, me being slow, where Mark and Deshaun and Tim are in and out of their trades in a minute or in seconds. We also teach, and I teach it every Monday morning with the advanced charting program, the daily advanced charting program that's proprietary to Micromoment. teach how to do momentum trading, where we're finding the beginning of a rising cycle on an equity, and then we buy the option, it goes up and we sell it. And that takes more like a day or two or three. So this Monday, it was Merck. So we went through all the different charts. I go through 35 different equities every Monday, and Merck was in the right place. So bought the option on Merck, and on Tuesday sold it for a 9.3% return. All the capital back and 9.3% return for one day. Actually, a little bit less time than an actual day, because got in at around 11 or 12 in the market on Monday, and out in the morning on Tuesday. But for one day of investment, 9.3%. I mean, that's a pretty good return. And that wasn't based on any number of particular contracts that were done. It just buy the contract, put the order in to sell it, and sell it the next day.
Yeah.
And to Randy's point, when you know your entry, know your exit, it's the end of the trade, you could actually put in the exit at that point even and let it ride. Yeah. And then it takes care of itself.
Yeah. And the way that I trade the momentum is I just am looking for a 5%, for a 5% profit. So as soon as I buy the option, I put the order in to sell it for 5%. It just happened that it went up overnight. And so by the time it opened the next day, it was 9.3% instead of just 5%. And it was still going up after that. So you don't have to close it at that time. But I like to just have the order in and take my profit. I'm not greedy out there saying, oh, could I get 12% or could I get 15%? It's like, I'll take a 5% profit and wait for the next one.
Well, do that every week. Mikey said, like Mikey said before, people are trading on a wish and a prayer instead of having an exit or a planned exit or a planned entry. Find something, hoping and praying it goes up, rather than having to find trading plan to profit from. And that's where traders make a big mistake, I think. If they don't have this plan, they tend to lose their money quickly and they're done, right?
Yep, I agree with that 100%. Yep.
And that's a really good point, because as Randy just mentioned, you also heavily implied it's about the overall plan. This is not the only trade you're going to do. Right. And as Mark said, you can start if you are stuck too much in that individual trade, right? A trading plan doesn't mean a trade plan. It means a trading plan. It's the sum of all of these trades that you're going to do over hopefully years, right? If you don't blow up your account, you're going to be trading for as long as you will be. And you have to also take that into account. I mean, that should be priority to what to do in your individual trade. That behavior, I think, backtracks so hard, because you have to unwind it from the big scale to see, so you don't just blow your whole account. Yeah. The defense of the original capital needs to be prioritized. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a major part of the plan, is to decide what type of trading do you want to do.
Yeah.
And what fits your particular psychology and personality. Do you want to be in and out of the market in a minute? And can you follow the charts and make the decisions that fast? Do you want to be in and out of the market in a day or two with momentum trading? Or do you want to spend less time doing that and not having to watch a chart moment by moment and do cover calls, which you do a process, you enter on a Monday or Tuesday, and then on Friday is when you exit. So it all depends on what you want to try to get accomplished. What type of returns are you trying to get? And then you make your plan and use the process and technique that fits that plan.
Yeah.
So like Eleanor on there, Eleanor said, I'm still happy doing covered calls. They're slow, but they work really well.
And Eleanor goes back to Boston. Eleanor, how long have you been with us? Eleanor's, gosh, she's been around a long time. So, yep.
Yeah, Marion agrees. Calls are nice and steady. Especially if MMT makes your heart race too fast.
Yeah. Well, and that's
it's not perfect, right? It's part of the trading plan, like Randy said. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people want that, adrenaline of the race car, and they do MMT every morning, and and they're in and out, they're real fast, and they're happy they're done. Like Mark said, You can trade for a half an hour and you're done for the day.
I think we're going to start requiring people that get to come to those MMT seminars that they take a physical first and get
make sure they're strong enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure their heart's strong enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's so valid too, because when you're talking about that, like, it's not just, you can't say, oh, I want to trade options, right? We talked about this last week. You have to be honest with yourself about what you're able to do and what you're good at. And, you want to set yourself up for success. So you can decide what you want to trade in the market. It's like the name your own price option on Geico. Like you can decide how fast your trades want to be. Because you choose your trading plan, right? And if you want it to be a faster or slower pace, you can still trade options. Yeah. You can just do it a bunch of ways. That's where the techniques come in. And then you can do multiple once you're comfortable. But to set it up in a way that you're already good at going into it. Trading's hard, trading's hard enough. The market's hard enough, right? You can make it simpler over time, but you have to start in some place that works for you. Absolutely.
Hey, Mike, here's a good question from Jim, and it says, what platforms work best for the different techniques? There you go. Yeah, that'd be great. Randy has the most experience in that, I would think.
Yeah, or I mean, Mark and Randy, what platforms do you guys use?
Yeah, Mark's been trading for a real long time too. Any platform really works, but some are faster being able to enter your order and change your order. And so you have to make sure, if you're going to do like Mark's technique with the in and out in a minute, you have to make sure you have a platform where you can enter an order and re-enter the order to sell again within that minute. For covered calls, you can take 2 minutes to put the order in if you want, because it's not so sensitive to the exact moment in the market. But there's all kinds of trading platforms that.
Yeah, so not to endorse them. I mean, there's a bunch out there, right? There's E-Trade, TradeStation, Thinkorswim. There's Interactive Brokers. There's a whole bunch of them, right? But the thing is, part of that trading plan should be is for you to educate yourself not only on the technique is important, but also on that platform. And sure, we could say we recommend this maybe or not. Everybody's going to be different on how they prefer that to look and feel to them, I think, on that platform. But part of that trading plan is to make sure you're proficient at that platform before you start trading real money, because the worst thing is get into a trade and not understand how to get out, right? Suddenly things are happening, you're like, I can't figure out how to get out of this thing. I don't know what to do. And then that's a real problem, right?
Well, that's a good thing also, to start with virtual trading to begin with, because that's how you can really learn the platform and find out, can you really handle that technique and that process. And so it's good to have a broker that has a virtual trading platform when you're learning, so that you can practice without risking any money, because you're using kind of play money out there in the market, and you can learn how to get fast and proficient, because it just like typing, it takes a while to get proficient at typing something in. And the same thing with using the broker platform, is really learning how to do it fast and efficiently.
Right. And again, like as part of the trading plan, one is education. So you'd understand what the technique is, what are you doing, how to get in, how to get out. And then 2 is the platform, be proficient at it by paper trading, or what we call it, until you're proficient at the keystrokes that is needed to enter and exit the trades. And then slowly work your way into real money. Don't take your whole account, go into one trade and suddenly go, oh my God, I don't know what to do, or I'm scared. How do I get out? Just slowly take a little bit at a time, take one trade. Maybe it's only one contract or 2 contracts. You buy a stock, sell one option contract. This will be 100 shares in that case. And slowly build up your confidence in what you're doing, and also you're learning as you're going along. So.
Yeah. Because again, if the farther you get away from that trading plan and the less you can handle those unexpected situations, the worse off you are over time. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say Eleanor got back. Remember, I asked how long she'd been with us. She's been with us since 2007, so that's 14 years.
Oh, wow.
And what's interesting is she's a woman. I'm surprised she missed that. 14 years. That means she's 17 years old.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But no, knowing what to do, in the unexpected situations too. I mean, there are times that, you know, you enter something, get a partial fill, it shoots up, you have to handle the first half of that because the second half is unfilled. I mean, this is more so. I mean, as a broad statement, when you how do I say that?
Well, it comes back to some of the education that we teach, and also the practicing that you've been doing to understand what to do in those situations, right?
Exactly.
So, and that's why we have our seminars. That's why we have our live trading stuff, so that you can help you learn and become proficient at the technique.
Yeah.
And then we also have coaching
available. Recommended.
Yeah, we have coaching available on a weekly basis for those that want to kind of take their training to a new level. Just like if you're learning how to, you know, play golf or in anything that you're learning, you can, you know, take one lesson, go to one seminar, go out and try to get better and just kind of work at it. Or you can take coaching and you get a coach and he teaches you and you get better and better and you use the right technique and you get better at it more quickly. It's up to you how fast that you want to learn, how good you want to get, how quickly do you want to get to that level. And we have all those various levels available, whether you just take a seminar and you attend it a couple times a year, or whether you take weekly or daily in the case of what Mark does. They have training going on every day.
And again, it's a matter of building. To me, it's like you're building a house. So you have this foundation. You're going to build a strong foundation, and from there, you can pile on these other techniques, other things, and grow your trading knowledge and experience from there.
Absolutely. I'm only going to address this once because we don't enjoy rude people. But Kevin, we have a 2-week free trial. For one, there's a lot of places to go on the internet. No, Joe, we're not going to address it. Like it's all good.
I wasn't going to say that. No, I was ignoring the SOB.
Yeah, but we have a free trial. So I mean, that's all I'll say. Don't be mean to Marion.
Free trial. He's not smart enough for a free trial.
Don't be mean to Marion. Marion's
yeah. With the free trial of that micro moment trade, I mean, you can watch in action actually what's going on, and you can see that it works and the kinds of returns that you can make. And one thing that I'll say is, like, I trade micro moment trading with that technique just on my own, because I mean I've learned it, I've taught it before, but I use SPX, totally different than what Mark does, totally different than what Deshaun, what Tim. They're all using different equities, using the same type of chart. So you got to have that intraday streaming chart. If you don't have the intraday streaming chart, you can't do what we're doing. I mean, you're just shooting in the dark. Then you're nothing more than speculating. But with the intraday streaming chart, it really gives so much information that says, oh, here's the momentum and here's where it's increasing. So you either buy a call or you buy a put. But I do it on SPX, totally different, on my own, not dependent on anything that anybody's saying. And I'm making 3%, 4%, 5% per trade on each of those. Now, SPX is a little bit more expensive option than what the Apple and the SPY, because they're trading like more of around $1 per share on the contract, where on SPX it could be $15, it could be $20. It's more capital to put in, but it's still based on the percentage of income that you bake off of that capital. And I can do that anytime, any day, mostly in the morning, because the best time to trade, actually, the volatility is so much greater in that first hour that's a good time to do the micro moment trading, where you're in and out really quickly. But it's not dependent upon any one of the instructors saying, this is what I'm doing. They're saying that so that you can learn how to do it right along with them, and they're showing their charts and talking about exactly what they're doing and why. And you can see the results from that.
Yeah, because like Randy said, I trade QQQ, but there's also TQQQ, so it's a fraction of the Qs essentially. So you could trade that as well.
The technique can be applied to any equity. The key is learning what kind of characteristics do you want for that equity, and then learning how to do the process, how to read the charts, and then you can go off and do it on anyone that you desire to do. It doesn't have to be Apple and QQQ and SPY. It could be any other one, but you need to learn what kind of characteristics you want so that the liquidity is high and the volatility is high enough that you can get in and out of positions, really quickly at when you desire to.
Yeah.
Again, it's all back to the trading plan again. Education, practice, and then execution, right?
So the last part of that I want to address is over trading. Has there been a time in your guys' life that you have over traded, or have you been able to keep that, pretty solid? And then if anyone is going through that, how should you start to address that? Go ahead.
Yes, over trading. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing this for a very long time. And earlier on, over trading was always a common problem, and is with most people that particularly if they're approaching day trading. I mean, I guess I could be doing more than one trade a day. And it's one of those things. It's sort of like driving too fast. It's just one of those things that is very difficult to control. And I'm not sure what the perfect answer is. If you get enthused, and we try to address that every day on our micro moment sessions. We the session's an hour. So you do that. Look at the returns you just made. You made more than mutual funds make in 4 or 5 years in one day, 1 hour, and just go take a break. You don't need to be there, sit there all day. So yeah, overtrading is a big problem, I think.
And Joe, there's been psychological studies done that says that every decision you make throughout the day kind of reduces your overall decision making process, and that the studies say you should make all your important big decisions early in the morning when your brain is at the peak. And the same thing with trading. So if you do 2, 3, 4 trades, I mean, you're using brain power up to make those decisions. And why do 15 or 20? Just lock in your profits. It goes back to your trading plan that says, hey, if I can make 5% a day, I'm happy. Okay, you do 1 or 2 trades, you got your 5%, stop. Wait till the next day. The opportunity is the same every single day. There's no one day that's better than the other. So you make your 4, 5, 6%. You stop trading. You go do whatever you want to do. You come back. You're fresh the next day, and you do it again. And so staying there, just trade after trade. Eventually, your brain gets tired, and your brain starts telling you, "Oh, this looks good," when it's not really so good.
Yep.
Yeah. You can say again, it goes back to that trading plan. If you don't really have a plan, when do you stop and when do you get out? Oh, I made that trade. Oh, I lost a little bit. Let me try another one. Oh, I made some money. Let me try another one. Okay, I'm going to keep doing this. Oh, this is great. I'm making money. But are you really following a path of rules or detailed instructions, so to speak, so that you can get to this endpoint and not be just trading to be trade, trying to make more money or being greedy about it? I guess it's knowing that entry, that exit again, and then you should be able to control that and know when it's time to stop.
Exactly. Because again, tying it back from earlier, your trading plan is you trading, not this trade, and to complete it. And that's what the main part I talked about in this editorial was most of those problems, the over trading, the extra stress, the staying in losses too long. Those things happen when you are outside of the plan of your overall trading plan. When you step outside of that, of course, bad things are going to happen. It's also when you probably would make a really random, big, huge win that you're going to be all proud of, and then you're going to lose all the profits from, because it's that inconsistency when we step outside of our trading plan. And I've done it, I understand that. I think we all have it at certain times, but remembering and getting back to the overall trading plan and keeping to that set of rules, whatever it is. And then, yeah.
Some of our clients in the past. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
Micah, we're getting underground reports here that Deshaun and that Tim are over there actually trading.
They probably are.
Yeah, these people are telling them.
So Tim got back from his vaccine.
Right, yeah.
Instead of coming to join us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I see. All right. Well, we're just a chop liver podcast, I guess, too, man.
That's right.
The market's came back a little bit, since then,
Yeah. Is it on a climb again today, or?
Yeah, so kind of, we drove down and then came back up pretty much. So actually, all today and yesterday's actually been pretty much going up. We're kind of flat right now.
The NASDAQ is up right now, 33 or something like that. The S&P is down less than a point, and the Dow is down 53 or 55 or something like that.
Yeah, so, it's been kind of going up and down around the zero, a little bit of plus, a little bit of minus.
Yeah.
I think they're might be kind of in the wait mode for see what the Fed does next week.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we have also one thing I should mention. We have a dividend workshop coming up. Do you have the date on that, Randy?
On what's that?
Next month's dividend.
I think it's May 15th, I believe.
May 15th. Perfect.
May 15th is the dividend workshop where I teach how to generate income on a stock that you bought because you want to earn a dividend, and you don't necessarily want to sell the stock, but you can generate weekly or monthly income depending on if the stock has weekly or monthly options. And you can generate income while you're waiting for that next dividend. You can therefore double, triple, maybe even quadruple the amount of money that you make based off of what you were making on the dividend. You can basically generate a dividend almost every week. And so I'm going to teach all the processes of how to do that, and what to do if the stock you're owning and you don't want to sell it, if it goes up, down, or sideways, how do you keep generating that income while you're waiting for a dividend anyway? And so that's all wrapped up. It's about a 3 or 4 hour workshop depending on all the questions. So I'll go through processes, charts, steps for any of the equities that somebody has that they've got for a dividend. We'll analyze their position and say, here's how you would do it.
Perfect. Absolutely. Build that trading plan.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here, Mark, Joe, and Randy. We'll have to give them some crap, and then see you next week. And then Joe, I believe you wrote about the topic for next week.
Yeah. Yes. It comes out this Friday in the Cow Report, and the editorial will be on cash investing versus your traditional investing and relying on a broker statement versus cash investing. And then that'll be the next Thursday's podcast subject.
Excellent.
So, another report. Deshaun is on E-Trade now. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
All righty. Well, Thank you everybody for being here.
Thank
we
you.
will see you next week.
Okay.
Oh yes, and we are full pushing on TikTok. A bunch of videos going up.
Yeah. The TikTok
videos there.
Go to our website, www.micromomenttrading.com, and you sign up for 2 free weeks of the sessions. Yeah, the micromoment sessions. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. All righty, guys. Have a great week.
Everybody, hope you have a great weekend.
See you later.
See you.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye.
Yep. Thank you.